Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 5 Star Revolution Podcast, Episode 10 with Adam Perilloux. Please enjoy.
So Warrior Pro was built out of one day I went to this show and this guy asked me to help him out. He said, "You got any ideas for wrestling?" And so I ran across some ideas with him and all that good stuff, and it sounded beautiful. We can make a difference in wrestling. But then out the blue, the I guess he got more people involved or whatever, and then it no longer become about the talent. It was just about making money and all that good stuff. I was like, you're not doing anything better than what the big circuit wrestling is doing. They're just doing it on an independent level. I was like, well, that's got to be fixed. So Warrior Pro was born just for that. And kind of like, and if you look at Warrior Pro and how we run our business, it's not a rip off of WCW, but it has that WCW type feel to it. It's a nod to the greats, the ones who got us here, and that's something that a lot of people has forgotten, and that's something that I won't allow to be forgotten.
All right, and what is your earliest memory of professional wrestling?
Earliest member of professional wrestling was Hulk Hogan, Big Van Vader on Baywatch.
That's your earliest memory right now?
The earliest memory right now. Now my dad, he worked for Mid South. He used to put up the ring and stuff, so he has like pictures. Well, I had pictures of him where he carried Andre the Giant's bags and he made Junkyard Dog and all them. So I mean, it's really great. So kind of been in the business all my life, but I never intended to be a promoter. It just kind of got got that way, I guess.
So, how did you transition from a pro wrestler into a promoter?
I just got tired of the way wrestling was going, and no one's making a difference. The few people who said that they were, like AEW, that was the very first statement they made is we're gonna change wrestling and make it better, and and just be truthful. They're just doing the same thing WWE is doing. So I was excited for that. I ended up being let down once again. So and one of my mentors and one of my greatest, like one of the people that I'm a fan of all time is Eric Bischoff. Uh, Absolutely one of my favorites. So I said, well, someone's gonna have to make a difference, and if it's not gonna be them, I got the knowledge. I know what I want out of wrestling. Why not shoot for it? And here we are.
And what made you get into the business? I know you said that you grew up into the business, but what made you actually get into it and try it out?
It's kind of ironic the way it happened because my intentions was never to get into wrestling. It was martial arts. So I studied martial arts, and my brother, my oldest brother, he wanted to do wrestling. So he pays this guy to train him. I think he's paying him like $500 or $600, something like that. To train. It's an independent training place, and so one day he's over there training, and me and my brothers we backyard wrestle all the time. So I was like, so it was all on trampoline, it was backyard wrestling, and my youngest brother goes to grab my foot, and I do like this backflip to get out of it, and the promoter's like, "Can you do that in the ring?" I can try, and then I mean, it just went from there. Went from doing that little backflip, getting into the ring. Uh, After that, I kind of strayed away from it, tried to, but it just always comes back to you.
And what's one lesson that you learned as a wrestler that you carry on in your life?
Um, be humble, because if you're not humble, I mean, you might enjoy life at that moment, but there's always someone out there bigger and better and who wants it a little bit more once you stop being hungry for it. So my deal is just to stay hungry and stay humble.
And what's that feeling like before a match or before a show backstage? What do you feel? What's going through your head?
Anytime before you walk through that curtain, I don't think there's anyone who walks through the curtain, even if you do it for the longest time, I don't think there's a such thing as you not being nervous, because at the end of the day, your job's to get the crowd over, whether you're a heel or a face. So, I mean, I think you're always nervous for that reason, but I think the anticipation is overwhelming when you get ready to go out to the ring and do your match or promote or whatever you're doing. The overall enjoyment of seeing how the fans react to you, and I guess being scared that they're not going to react to you.
And as a promoter, how do you deal with backstage politics?
Oh man, I love it. So backstage politics, I don't deal with big heads, and I do not deal with I don't deal with people who are egotistical. So my very first thing that I tell anyone that I hire on, or they've been in the business, I told this to James Storm. So whether they've been in the business for a long time and whether they haven't, I don't deal with big headed people. If you want to be big headed, there's the door. That's what I tell everyone. So if you come to our locker room and you can ask any of our talent, uh, it's one big family. Everybody's trying to help each other. Everybody's got each other's back. We all want what's best for the business. We're all hungry to make this better than what it was when we got here.
And what would you say is the hardest part of being a pro wrestler?
Hardest part of being a pro wrestler would be, I mean, man, if you ever look underneath the mat on the ring, that's some thick plywood. And if it's not plywood, it's a bunch of 2x4s or 2x6s. And it's laced with metal pipes and stuff. So uh, those falls, they take a toll on you. And more often than none, you hear about people having back surgery or deteriorating disc uh, just for taking those falls and those hits. So people think, oh, it's fake because you can take a bump. That bump, I mean, it might allow you to get back up from the fall, but that doesn't mean the fall don't hurt.
I totally agree, man. I used to wrestle myself, and I used to have big bruises and bumps all over my body. And I called it quits about 2 years ago because my body couldn't take it anymore.
It, it's a toll. It takes a toll. It's something you gotta be conditioned for, and that's why I push on the idea of not getting stars, but getting athletes to work for us because they condition our bodies for those things, and they'll last a little bit longer. And uh, and I'm just not a fan of the star thing. I'd rather have professional athletes who enjoy the sport of wrestling, not someone who enjoys making movies.
So, what can we expect out of Adam Perilloux in the next 5 years?
Um, I see Warrior Pro. Uh, you can expect me to be taking Warrior Pro to the grand stage, uh, just being up there with the big ones. And it's not because I'm bragging or because I want to go take on WWE, because I have no intentions on ever fighting WWE or AEW. We're a wrestling company. They're a movie company. It wouldn't make sense. So at the end of the day, um, I'm going to push hard and work hard and do everything I got to in my power to make this grow. And I know that we're growing at a rapid stage now, from a lot of the feedback we get, just talking to some of the talent and just seeing where we set as a whole. But at the same time, I also see people getting aggravated with us, which is another great sign that you're doing something good in the wrestling business.
What's your biggest regret in your career?
Uh, Biggest regret in my career is that I couldn't get my brother, because my brother started off in wrestling, and I tried everything I could to try to get him to try to get him, motivated. Even come very close at the last Warrior Pro event that we had, but never could get him there. It seems like every time he gets to the ring or next to the ring, something happens, and it's kind of like bad karma for him. So I guess he's finally taken it and decided that it's not for him.
All right, yep. That sounds like, it's out of your hands, but what can you do?
Right.
So, out of your 14-year career, what's your favorite match that stands out in your head?
Favorite match type of all time. It started off with hardcore matches, and then I realized that hardcore matches are really for people who may not be able to wrestle, but you still want to put on a good show. So I was like, so then I got into singles matches. So I'd rather something like either a singles match or a cage match. It's just because whenever I'm in the ring, I want to tell a story when I'm wrestling just as well as I do when I'm on the microphone or doing a promo.
And Do you enjoy being a heel more or a face more?
Well, I'd rather be a face. I mean, that's kind of what I am in life. I'm the humble, setback guy. So I kind of bring that into the business with me. The heel thing, I remember when I first did the promoter thing. I think everyone, and I think this is why Warrior Pro stands out, is everyone figured I was taking the Vince McMahon route or the Eric Bischoff. I was going to be the bad guy that turns on everyone and does that. And that's been done to death. So I kind of want to bring the real life aspect into wrestling, but at the same time, not forget that we're wrestling.
And what is the most thing you enjoy as being a promoter? Like, do you like the packed house or having a good show? What's your most favorite thing of being a promoter?
My favorite thing for being a promoter is being able to tell my staff, my talent, my production manager Charles Tipton, Raven Skylark, Cameron Walker, Kyle Hawk, the people who stood with me from day one, how proud I am of them, and seeing the success that we're becoming and growing, and just the overall that we've made this happen. It wasn't something that we said was going to happen and then it fell apart. I mean, we made it happen, and like I said, it's rapidly growing.
And as a promoter, what do you look for in a pro wrestler?
I look for someone who's hungry. They're they're training almost every day of the week, and not almost every athlete that's on our roster. I can call them up and they'll be like, "Well, let me get through training real quick, or let me get through working out, and then I'll give you a holler." And it's not that they got to be bodybuilders. I don't care about all that. I care about the dedication that they put in to want to be a professional wrestler. Because when I see them being hungry the way that I am to make this work, then we're just set up for success and not failure.
And how do you search for these talents? Do you look them up on YouTube? Do you study their work? Do they hit you up and say, "Hey, I want to be on your show"?
So actually, that's what happened to start with. Is we reached out to a few people on our very first show, and they had liked the locker room rhetoric so great. They all went to their friends and they're like, "Hey, if you want to get into wrestling, you need to try this place called Warrior Pro. They're all laid back people and they're really cool and they're just trying to fix the business and stuff." And so after that, I get contacted from a bunch of other people, and and a few of them were like, "Hey, I went to these other companies. They find out that I got like diabetes and they won't give me a shot. So, I just thought it was worth reaching out to." And so for me, it's like, I don't care what illness you got. If that's what you want to do, if that's your dream, if that's what you want to do, who am I to stop that? So if you just show me that you want it, you get that opportunity, you get that chance.
I totally agree, man. If you think you can do it, you should go for it, no matter what. If people are trying to put you down or put negative things in your head, just ignore that and go for it because you never know.
Yeah, I don't have any intentions on holding anyone back because that would be the equivalent of someone holding me back trying to promote this. And I've had people try to do that. I've had quite a few people try to do it. And it's mainly because they see that you're about to succeed and they want to stop you in their tracks and drag you down to where they are. But I don't stop at people. I just push them out the way and keep going.
And how do you deal with those snakes that try to backstab you and try to stop you?
Most of them, I learned from early. I got this from Terry England, and I repeat this every so often because it is so true. He told me once you got into the wrestling business, what's going to happen is you're going to make a lot of friends, you're going to lose a lot of friends. A lot of friends you lose are the ones that you thought was closest to you, and that has happened quite frequently. Now, at the same time, when it happens, depending on how it happens, if it's just you wanting to move on and do your own thing and et cetera, I'm fine with that. I don't hold no grudges. Go do what you want to do in life. I'm not going to hold you here. But if you're just quitting and going doing something because you're mad at me starting to succeed, you can't handle the success that we have going on because it wasn't your idea, it wasn't you who created it, then that's whenever I'm kind of like, just leave them alone, go on about your business. Because I remember before, uh, when someone would say something negative, I would be the first one on there, and I'd be like, such and such, and we would argue back and forth. And I was like, at the end of the day, my fans don't deserve that. The people who come to Warrior Pro don't deserve that. So now it's just ignore them. That's the best thing you can do because when they get your attention, then they know that they got something they can hold on to. But when they don't have your attention, it eats them up so bad inside. So yeah, I just ignore them and go on about my business.
That's the best thing you can do is ignore them and push them to the side. That way you can focus on your career and on your goals. So I totally
Right.
agree with that statement. So my next question is, um, can you explain a little bit about your character of who Adam Perilloux is?
Adam Perilloux, which is like I said, we bring the real life element into wrestling, so that's who I am in real life. Uh, I am owner CEO of Warrior Pro. My whole deal is I just want to fix wrestling. Gotta make wrestling better. But now the wrestling side of me, that's a whole nother thing. That's Blood Soldier, and that name came about because it was I was the Blood Soldier was born by the blood of Jesus Christ. So that's where that whole name came about. And I always want to do something to honor what I believe in religion, but at the same time, I don't push my religion on anyone or push all that stuff in the locker room. People are allowed to believe what they want to believe or follow whoever they want to follow. I'm not here to tell them what they need to and what not to be doing.
That sounds like a great statement right there, man. I agree. Politics and who you follow, your gender shouldn't matter. What should matter is having a good show and making the crowd happy.
Yes, I have no intentions on bringing politics. In fact, I was asked that a few days ago was how would politics play out in storylines. So we don't do politics. And I remember someone had contacted me, and I won't say who because I'm trying to be respectful. But they contacted me, and they're like, "I'm going to be the first black woman to be an announcer for the WWE or something like that, or be head commentary on WWE." And they was wanting to know if I would hire them for Warrior Pro to help them get on their way and stuff. And I don't contact people back like that because in Warrior Pro, you don't earn your spot because you have a color. You don't you don't not earn it because you have a color. Same way with gender and whether you're gay or whether you're not has nothing to do with you being an athlete. So if you want to come here, you want to work hard, you want to put in the time and effort that like Kyle Hawk does or Raven Skylar does, Cameron Walker does, John Strange, whoever is on the Warrior Pro roster, Marty Clay, then you put that effort in, you can have a spot. But when you call me and you start talking about the first thing is such and such, and it's some type of politics that's mixed up in it, I won't call you back. I won't contact you.
Okay, all right. And one thing I ask every guest that comes on here, what advice do you have for somebody that wants to start off in professional wrestling?
Whew, man, if you want to start off in wrestling, you need to find someone who's willing to take time out and train you, and you need to find someone who's loyal to training you. So like they're not going to train you and send you on about your way because 90% of the time, and I hear this so often, is someone went to such and such. Let's say like Dr. Def Steve Williams, God rest his soul. They go to their school, they pay like $3,500, and after they do that, you graduate school, but that's it. That's all you did. You graduated school. Then you have to go find the stuff yourself. You have to go beg someone to let you wrestle. And 90% of the time, if a promoter has not seen you wrestle, it's going to be super hard to get that shot for someone to let you in there to go wrestle. So I would definitely get someone who's willing to stick with you, to train you, and also help you get bookings and get you started. Uh, like Warrior Pro, we're getting ready to do the Warriors Den, which is that it's a training facility, but also a competition same time. So if you're a new guy and you want to train, you can join the Warriors. Then you train. Once you complete your training, you go through the competition. You pass the competition, then you get booked on our show as a main roster. Now, our once you're booked on the show as our main roster, and as you're in the competition state, we'll help you get bookings everywhere else while you're still training with us. So this way, it gets you started in the business. It don't just leave you hanging. And we do that at $2,500, which is very cheaper than what you're going to find in most wrestling schools.
I totally agree, man. I remember paying a lot of money for wrestling school. You can pay up to five, six, $7,000. Just depends where you go, but your school sounds like a very legit school and somewhere that somebody should check out. So I have two more questions for you before I let you go, Mr. Adam.
Yep.
My first question is, what is like the most packed house you wrestled in front of, and what's the memory of that match?
The most packed house I wrestled in front of would probably be MCW. I mean, we had about 200 or 300 people there, um, which is good for that because it's just a small independent company. Um, but I think that was it. I think, but what you leave from that is whether you have 200 fans, 100 fans, 300 fans, is how many people remembered you when you left, because that word of mouth will get around so fast. I saw such and such do this, saw them do that. That was a good show, et cetera, et cetera. And then next thing you know, you went from 300 people to 500 people, 600 people, thousands of people. So it's just a matter of pushing and trying to get sense. So yeah, fondest memory of that packed house is, yeah, just I'd say a MCW event. And actually, one of the memories from that is I wrestled one of my youngest brothers. So that was that was really cool at the same time.
That sounds like a fun time, man. 300 people is nothing to, look away from, because 300 people at an independent wrestling event is pretty impressive. So, congratulations
I mean,
on that.
thank you. I mean, yeah, you got to start off somewhere. Uh, we've drawn well up to 600 and 700 people at Warrior Pro. That was during the pandemic.
Wow.
So I think we'll be fine with the events coming up.
So, out of all of your roster on Warrior Pro Wrestling, who should we look out for?
Ooh, man, that's a tough roster. Uh, Matt Kyle Hawk's our champion. He's a force to be reckoned with. You want Salvage, he's Salvage 24/7. Uh, Raven Skylark, like I said, the dude had he's got type 1 diabetes. No one wants to give him a chance, but trust me, he has proved that he wants what we have at Warrior Pro. And we got Lady Inferno, Fiji Wild, man. I mean, the list goes on. I could probably just name the entire roster to look out for, because they're worth it. No matter who you watch on Warrior Pro, you won't get a letdown. It's like if you come to a Warrior Pro event and you see the first match, that match will be so good. In your mind, you're going to be like, oh, well, there's no way that match could be top. And then when the next match tops it, it just keeps going better and better and better and better. And so eventually, there's just, I mean, your mind's just, I can't believe that event was that great.
And where can fans find Mr. Adam Perilloux? Where can fans find Warrior Pro Wrestling?
They can find us on the Warrior Pro Facebook page. We also have a network now. It's called World of Independent Wrestling, but you could just do WOIW.online. That'll take you to our network. And like I said, you can find us on Facebook. We have a Twitter page, which is Warrior Pro 7, at Warrior Pro 7 on Twitter. We're working on Instagram. We have a Twitch page, which is Real Warrior Pro. And yeah, we're just kind of hitting all the corners right now. And we'll be in Rocky Top July 30th and July 31st. 2-night event honoring our veterans, having the most interactive interaction with our crowd, and having a huge 2-night event, which includes a Royal Rumble, a triple threat tag team ladder match, and Lady Inferno and Wildman Fiji in action as well.
Wow, that sounds all like a great time, man. I wish I can join y'all. But thank you so much, Mr. Adam Perilloux, for
That that will also be streamed on Facebook Live. So if you're
okay.
not able to be there in person, you can watch us on Facebook Live.
I'll definitely watch it on Facebook Live for sure. Thank you for telling me. And I just have one announcement to make to all of our listeners, all of our fans. Please follow us on Facebook. We're almost there. 400 likes by August 15th. Somebody lucky is going to win a $50 gift card to anywhere of your choice. You heard me right. $50 gift card. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5 Star Revolution Podcast. Mr. Adam Perilloux, thank you so much for your time. Good luck in your career and good luck with Warrior Pro Wrestling.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir.